Hello, Boyd. How are you? Alright, so this is a movie I've been kind of sleeping on for a while. I mean, I heard good things. The premise sounded just okay, so I just kind of let it go by my radar for a while, but finally sat down to watch Psycho Goreman, and yeah, I really did enjoy this movie. It's just the right amount of ridiculousness mixed with over-the-top gore that really did make it work. Alright, so Um, premise: two kids find an alien overlord buried in their backyard. One of them steals his. Then the younger sister, a psychotic little girl, ends up taking its crystal, not knowing what it was. Essentially, this crystal is the source of all the alien overlord's power, and gives her complete control over it. Now, the creature was buried on Earth several thousand years ago, as the universe is entirely terrified of him because he's become too powerful and was about to snuff out all life in the universe, and was well on his way to doing so before he got imprisoned. Now, with their alien action figure, I guess, they go on a series of misadventures, including dealing with their less than stellar parents, and but things kick off when both the alien council who imprisoned him sends a representative to try to recontain a angelic figure known as Pandora, who is willing to go to any means necessary to containment, and his paladins Obsidian, his former generals. This movie has a great sense of humor. It really does work. The two kids in particular are pretty believable for how two kids would handle having an alien overlord at their disposal, particularly if one of them is a sociopath. The acting really actually is very good in this film, and the scenarios are usually fairly entertaining, as the alien has to suffer through playing games and just hanging around watching TV and going on clothes changing montages rather than conquering the universe. All the while, he is still, despite having to obey them, his personality is intact, and you hear him cursing and making really inventive threats the whole way. And at the same time, the movie does have a bit of heart, as he actually does seem to get a weird bond with the kids towards the end when things are actually starting to fall apart. Okay, it's not a perfect film, though. The special effects are a mixed bag. The makeup effects, half of them look really good, the other half are a little Power Rangers, particularly with the Paladins Obsidian. Their effects just really weren't doing it for me. I mean, the designs were really cool, but the look was a little rubber suity. And for the Paladins Obsidian, I would like to have known more about them. They seemed interesting. I mean, why one of them spoke Japanese instead of the English like everyone else was speaking, I don't know. They actually do comment on why the alien, it's the main alien himself, Psycho Goreman, which is what the kids named him, is speaking English. He does say, oh, that a variant of, like, then a different kind of ancient language is like how primitive, and then we'll start speaking in it. Okay. They give a throwaway line to explain it. I'm good on the language front. Also, the whole alien council thing, well, they are funny for what they're doing, particularly when they're discussing Plan B. They are very Doctor Who, so take it or leave it on that. Also, the father of the family is, he's kind of an ass and a very lazy ass, and I don't know if he gets enough comeuppance to really justify as obnoxious as he is. And the younger girl is a bit much with how much he bullies her brother, and everyone around her. So it kind of gets hard to sympathize when things fall apart with those characters. You feel for the brother and the mother, but those two it's a little bit harder to. So it's really hard to know who you're supposed to be rooting for at the end when they kind of pair off. Some of them joining Pandora, some of them joining Psycho Goreman, and it's like you don't know who to root for. So it's a weird experience of not knowing how you want this movie to turn out. And I mean, it's a decent resolution. I wouldn't say the ending's great by any means, but it ends okay. Gonna give Psycho Goreman the 7 MacGuffins. It's up there. It's definitely worth seeing. I believe it's a Shudder exclusive, circa 2020, so it's fairly recent. I don't think it's on any platforms other than Shudder right now, and I don't know if it's getting a physical release, but I hope it does, because I'd like to add this one to my collection. Alrighty. Have a good day.